We are foraging in Appalachia, and I am with Caleb Arnold, a naturalist foraging expert that is going to walk us through this Appalachian terrain and this beautiful forest. And we are going to identify edibles, medicinals, and a bunch of kind of things. Probably a lot of content that we're going to have to span across multiple episodes. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for health and homesteading content and for today's foraging content. And check out those YouTube memberships for more one-on-one support. Let's dig in. Before we get started, make sure you are with a trained expert or you know what you're doing before you pick and consume anything, right?
That's a good idea. The species here.
Ooh.
Wild grapes.
Yes.
One of the summer grapes, or what we call possum grapes.
It looks like they've got to plump up a good bit, huh?
Yeah,
like they just started forming?
So the only species of grape I know that I'm going to eat right off the vine is a muscadine, and muscadines are large grapes on small clusters, and these are going to be small grapes on, more heavily populated clusters. And so I kind of lump all these, it's probably 5 or 7 species, I don't know, that I lump all these together because they kind of need to be processed in order to utilize, the food there.
What is it with the acidity?
It's just got a lot of acidity. I'm not sure, maybe it's like a malic acid or something. But you could try to consume any of the wild grapes.
At this stage?
No, when they're ripe, when the fruit's ripe, and as far as I know, they're mostly all going to be purplish, dark colored when ripe. But if you just are popping them in your mouth raw, they get real acidic, they'll kind of burn your throat. And so the processing has to do, and I've not done this a lot because I've mainly focused on the muscadines at our place, but it would be getting the juice, and I believe it has to do with separating the, like kind of pouring off the layers that separate. You're going to pour off that acidic, grimy layer, and you're going to be left with a pure juice that's very reminiscent of a commercial grape juice.
Yeah. So so you obviously wait until they're purple and soft and squishy?
Yeah, I mean, just basically like your grape you would buy in the store, you would use all the same indicators. It'll be the heat of summer, really set in before they get ripe. This is nice. It's catching a lot of sunlight at the edge of the forest. Normally these things are way high up in the trees and you wouldn't be able to access them unless something falls over or you're just in a really ideal environment. You see them down low enough a lot by rivers. One of the species is known as like riverbank grapes. So yeah, and the grape leaves themselves can be used, as most grape leaves are, wraps and foods, though I've not found it made me want to use these a whole bunch. They're kind of strong in taste, maybe season dependent there.
Look, Olivia's curious.
Yeah, she's intuitive.
She is. I have either intuitive or just naive completely. Right. I also have heard that you can put grape leaves in pickling jars for crispiness.
Yeah. There's, what is it, tannins? One of those compounds inside to help keep crispness and color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then there's also like this weird alien thing here, not my child, but I saw, it was like, here we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is common. And, forget the name of this. Look this one up.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's fungal or insect, but it's very common to the grape leaves.
It's like these little alien things.
Yeah.
Just popping out.
So
she is so curious.
This is a great example. Yeah, this will be loaded down, and a lot of wildlife will consume this fruit. So high ecological value as well.
If you were like trying to survive in the forest, not just a camping situation, but like, society breaks down and you're in the forest for whatever reason, and you see these green or purple. I mean, are they okay to eat green? Are they going to help you out if they're purple?
So for me, this is not one that I would get super excited about because in a primitive situation, it's going to take, most of the time in my head, it takes a modern jar or a modern canteen to start to sift out some of those crystals. So, I typically avoid unripe berries. I can't confirm whether these are not, but I do know there's a lot of other foods and other families that unripe is a no-go.
Yeah.
So I will use caution there. And most of the time, these might even be a pass-up, even in a survival situation, unfortunately. If you're on the move or if you don't have time to sit down and do some processing, it's going to be tricky.
Interesting. All right. Let's see what else we got.
We have a second fruit coming in this
Ooh.
cluster, and it's not from the grapevine, it's from a tree branch that the grapevine is hanging on. And here we have Prunus serotina, or black cherry. And even though they
Whoa.
seem to be kind of at this same green stage, they're going to be very different berries and used differently. The Prunus serotina, the black cherry, is edible, but the pit or the seeds you wouldn't want to eat, just as normal cherries. And you're going to be looking for a ripe cherry there. It's going to be very dark in color when it's ripe.
That's
The
cool.
birds are going to scoop these cherries up a lot faster than they will these grapes.
How do you, I mean, I can see like this is a defined shape here on the grape leaves. It looks super viney,
Yeah.
but how does one confirm the cherry tree?
So black cherry has a couple things to look for. One, we have a finely serrated leaf, which means the edges or the margins of our leaf are, they're like little teeth or little saw blades in there.
Yeah.
Also, if we get a closer look at the bark is quite particular. It's a little hard to tell on a branch this small, but a lot of trees have these kind of striations that run vertical, and the black cherry has this kind of wrapping notion of striations that kind of go horizontal. And so that's one of the things I look for. The larger bark of the trunk will be flaky, but if you find the fresh growth or the medium growth, you'll see the spiraling on the bark. But then most importantly, I use my nose to tell if this is a black cherry tree. For surefire identification, I'm going to take a small twig,
Right.
and I'm going to scrape it right here with my thumbnail. And this is damaging the tree, but I reveal the inner bark or the cambium layer. It's the green inner layer, and this is good that it's green. It means it's living. See if you get anything. I can start to smell it. And at first I get kind of a foul smell, rank almost just a little bit.
I think so. I mean, at first I kind of just smell
There you
like just like straight up green.
Yeah, and so
But-
let's see. Let's sit with this just a minute. Let's strip a few of these leaves back and really tear up that inner bark to muster up that smell and see if you get a little bit there.
Yes.
So,
That's
it's
cool.
most of the time people don't consider it the best smell, but if you sit with it now for 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds, it actually starts to sweeten up.
It smells like almonds.
Oh, there it goes. And
It's
so you nailed it, that's your
beautiful.
identification. So it's a cherry almond aroma. It's prussic acid that smells like that. There are cyanogenic compounds that go along with it. So there is a little caution with use on this one, but that's your surefire identification. You should get that cherry almond aroma. I'll throw out there that the most common thing I mistake this tree for is the black birch or sweet birch, also called the cherry birch because of how much it resembles the black cherry. So we have black cherry and black birch. The black cherry has the cherry almond aroma, and the black birch has a wintergreen aroma. So smelling, once again, is going to tell you for sure what you're dealing with.
Make sure you are paying attention to those senses before you consume this thing. Today you learned about the wild grapevine and cherry tree that you might find in Appalachia. And while they're fun and edible, they're not going to be powerhouses of medicine that you might need to depend on if you were out in the woods. Next up, we have some big players of medicine that if you found could save your life if you were in the wild in Appalachian territory. You do not want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel for more health and homestead and foraging information, and don't forget to check out those one-on-one memberships and be on the lookout for the next episode of Foraging in Appalachia.